Righty, guys. All right, how are we? We're gonna do two more draft classes. We are really gonna focus these last two classes on the NFC West. So we're gonna attack the West. I'm going to review one of my favorite draft classes, and it's one of my favorites, especially when you look at like the entire team and this third-year draft class. Like if you're looking at an Oklahoma City Thunder of the NFL, and I love how the Oklahoma City Thunder built their basketball team. You know, they traded James Harden, or they traded Paul George to Oklahoma City, and they got back all those draft picks in that trade, you know, with Sam Presti, and they were able to turn that into Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and then tons and tons of swaps and picks, right? And they were able, I think Russell Westbrook was also traded from Oklahoma City as well. Just Sam Presti just did a magnificent job of, you know, building this, you know, entire roster and this entire program. All right. He just did a phenomenal job, Sam. And Arizona's kind of building out their team in a very similar way. All right, we look at the first draft. They ended up getting Paris Johnson out of Ohio State. They ended up drafting Michael Wilson. All right, they tried last year to get Trey Benson. They also drafted Trey McBride. That might have even been the old GM. But Trey McBride ended up being phenomenal out of, I believe, Colorado State University. So, you know, Arizona, they are a really fun homegrown team, you know, built. And, you know, I think that they even got some cornerbacks. They drafted the big guy out of Missouri last year, big defensive tackle, and they were really competitive. They were in a lot of games. They almost were in the wild card last year, so they did great. You know, Kyler Murray was pretty healthy. Drew Petzing is getting his feet under him as an offensive coordinator. Nick Rallis and Gannon are running a really good system. So I Monti Ossenfort, like, they're being patient. You know, they're just sitting there being patient. They're not trading the farm to go get the most elite talents. But Arizona, in this stage of the rebuild, they got a good culture. They're very, very competitive in almost every single game. And they were in a lot of close games and won a lot of close games. Like, I believe that they went on the road. They did lose to Minnesota, but they ended up beating the Miami Dolphins in Miami last year. They had a lot of walk-off wins at the buzzer last year. And then they even went to Los Angeles, and that was when they were eliminated from the playoffs, and they played a whale of a game out there, if not for a crazy fluke Kyler Murray interception. So Marvin Harrison is on their offense. Let's just look at their entire football team. You got Paris Johnson. Now right tackle, who do they have now at right tackle? Well, Kelvin Beachum will come in and compete with Jonah Williams, who was hurt, I believe, last year. Christian Jones. They have Isaiah Adams that they drafted. Okay, so there. And then they got Froholt as a center. So their offensive line's okay. It's not the strength of their team, but you got Marvin Harrison. Greg Dortch can run a bit. Michael Wilson. So they really are relying on Trey, Marvin, Harrison. Got James Conner. They are trusting in Benson. They didn't choose to go running back in this draft. They are kind of trusting in Trey Benson to take that leap. He looked a little bit slower, honestly, than I wanted him to look out of Florida State, okay? I wanted Benson to have more production. He didn't really have that. You also have Tip Ryman out of Illinois, who's a guy who can block, who's a high-character guy. They got him last year in the third round, all right? So offensively, you do have star power. You have Marvin, you have Trey McBride, you have Connor, you have the quarterback in Kyler Murray that can run the football, all right? You have Greg Dortch, who could stretch the field a little bit. You have Michael Wilson, who could go up there and make contested plays and catches for you, all right? So the offense is looking pretty good. I would rate the offense, honestly, as a totality, like a B. The defense now, if you're going to be a playoff football team, the defense has to be a B. So you have Calais Campbell, Dalvin Tomlinson. Love it. Veteran leaders, right? Veteran, great leadership. Dalvin Tomlinson, great guy. All-state wrestler from Alabama. NFL veteran. Really good player. And Calais Campbell, Jacksonville Jaguars, Hall of Famer. Hall of Fame career. Fantastic player. Baron Browning, Darius Robinson from Missouri, Walter Nolen, okay? You have Zaven Collins still on this team. Josh Sweat you add to this defense. Mac Wilson, Cody Simon, okay? This defense, Baron Browning, this defense to me, I mean, when you look at the interior line, when you look at Robinson, you look at this defense now, Budda Baker's in the secondary, this defense is now suddenly up to like a B+. So this entire Cardinals team right now, and if you get Will Johnson to actually be healthy this year, all right, this team, Garrett Williams as well as a nickelback, Max Melton from Rutgers, second-round pick, okay? Mad Max. This whole defense now is just as good as the offense because you add Will Johnson, you add Campbell, you add Dalvin Tomlinson, all right? You're taking on Nolen, you're taking Will Johnson. I mean, this team can honestly compete for this division championship. I mean, Seattle's still a little bit away with Sam Darnold. I don't think they were a playoff team. San Francisco's going through transition. You know, they lose Deebo Samuel. They lose Talafunga. They lose Dre Greenlaw, all to Denver. They've gone through a lot. Is Brock Purdy going to be healthy? Like, they weren't even very good. George Kittle's getting up there in age. They have to rely on Ricky Pearsall. Their roster's not looking that talented. Like, we've fully gotten to the point now in the pendulum of the NFC West where the Arizona Cardinals have now arrived. They've stacked 3 years of draft classes. They've been patient, okay? First year was kind of a train wreck. Kyler ended up getting hurt. They needed to take their lumps. But that's where they got Marvin Harrison in the draft. That's where they got Paris Johnson in the draft. They end up hiring a really good offensive line coach out of Ohio State, okay, that I'm a big fan of. So I like this coaching staff. I like the front office. I love the direction of the Arizona Cardinals. Okay, the Arizona Cardinals, I'm going to say it, are a playoff team in 2024. They will be a playoff team. They will win the NFC West. Can't believe I just said that, but I'm going to go with it. Arizona will win the NFC West, okay? They are going to be the team, all right? And then maybe one more year, you sprinkle some things on, bam, they're competing for a Super Bowl in the next 2 years, okay? How good can Kyler be? How good can Marv be? That's going to be the question. How good can you get another solid running back? Can you get the offensive line in order? Defensively, I'm loving this team. I'm loving the defense. I think that they can play, I think that they can play complementary ball. I think Kyler's in a really good spot to win games late in his career and to be clutch. I wonder if they have Matt Prater as their kicker. They have Chad Ryland, I guess, as a kicker. So I think that Gannon's great. I think that, again, Seattle and Arizona are going to be really, really dangerous. This class is an A-plus class. Walter Nolen, this is the perfect team for Walt. Guy is a massive talent. It's been a great talent ever since he moved to Knoxville Catholic and ever since he didn't commit to Tennessee. I believe he committed to A&M as part of that unbelievable recruiting class. Number one player in the country, very versatile, great against the run, has a very high floor. And then it's just, can you get to his ceiling? Is he going to be motivated? How consistent can he be? If he's going to be consistent, bam. So this team is a fun team. It's an under-the-radar team. It's not your Cowboys. It's not your Chiefs. It's not your Bills. It's not Philadelphia. Okay? It's not the 49ers. This is a smaller market team in Arizona that is building through the draft, that is really building with their homegrown players and a sprinkling of free agency, I'm loving it. And I'm just getting excited talking about the Arizona Cardinals.